Welcome back. I know, shocking to see this car finally back on the channel. I can't believe it's taken me this long to finally get this car in the garage. Honestly, I mean, it's been sitting abandoned basically on jack stands for over a year, but it's finally here, so that means stuff is gonna happen because I am not getting this car out until it's done. And to follow through on that, basically, it's because I have to pay a tow truck to get it here, so I don't want to pay another, basically, I don't want to pay to get it out of the garage. I want it to drive out of the garage, so, yeah. Let me do a little walk around, you know, if you're new to the channel, it's your first time seeing me, this car. Amontes is my friend. He's been on the channel a couple times. He's been on the channel with me probably the whole time. He's not here right now, he's at work, so mainly you'll probably be seeing a lot of me doing this car, but he was definitely going to come on the weekends or maybe after work to help me out. So we started this car about 2 years ago in the winter. I remember it was like winter break when we finally pulled it into that one garage and we started tearing it apart. We took the motor out. Hold on, let me show you. So what was in here was, I believe it was a D15 or D16, whatever it was, single jingle. I don't want any of that business, so we took it out. We went to a local little junkyard and I was able to find a whole EP3 swap for like $700 or something. So EP3 transmission, EP3 K20A3, EP3 wiring harness, ECU. ECU is a K-Pro that I bought from CLM. That was another video we did, or at least part of the video. We did get this car running, and after we got it running, I wasn't able to get it driving, and life happened. It sat in my parents' backyard for well over a year. So I'm sure they're as happy as me for getting this car out of there. But yeah, it's just a stock K20A3, alternator relocation, thermostat housing, tensioner, has some eBay billet engine mounts, has like a K-swap shifter on it, the K-swap headers in the back, can't really show you. Has that like half radiator, but all of that is going to change, so stay tuned. I gotta switch out the battery because it's about to die. Alrighty, so this battery has a little bit more juice, so I can go into a little bit more depth talking. So this car, as you see, the paint on the engine bay is, well, very minimally red. Basically, that paint job, the paint that we used is absolutely garbage and came right off. I pressure washed it, trying to get most of it off because I'm gonna have to redo it. I'm thinking of a different color, which means I'm gonna have to pull this motor out, but there's a good reason also why I'm gonna be pulling this motor out. I'll show you in a bit. Got to redo some of the suspension as well. That traction bar we have is really ghetto, as in it's just like a really cheap one. It's gonna break if we ever do a launch. I still got to get coilovers for the car. It has currently coilovers, but the rear passenger is seized. Nothing I can do about it. As you can see, the paint is also off of this bash bar that we made. Never fully installed it. It's just sitting there looking pretty, but got to redo that. All the undercoating actually came off the car as well, just weathering basically, sitting outside. So it's a little bit of a test, just sitting and undercoating comes off. Like, come on. You got a lot of body work to do on the car. I wish this camera zoomed out more, but it's got a lot of body work I got to do. I got a different hatch I need to install, one that doesn't have this. Got Lexan windows that I got to do. I got to build like a little aluminum spoiler, kind of Kanjo-ish style. See the interior. Interior is a little dirty. There's a shifter, kind of just stopped exactly where it was. I got to clean up the wiring, kind of like how it's routed right now. Everything is just ran all over the place just because we're testing everything, making sure everything works. But I'm gonna have to run new wires. I want to run. We're gonna be running a bigger fuel pump, so I'm gonna have to redo the wires with bigger gauge wires. I might have to find an actual place for the battery. The car will be getting a cage, so as in getting a cage. I already have a cage for an Integra, but I'll be cutting and welding it up to fit this car. So can't wait for that. It's gonna be fun because I love welding and fabricating. But yeah, so interior, not much has changed. So I said, right? I said I had a lot of new things planned. The reason why we have to basically redo everything, right? 1 second. This right here is a little Greddy turbo kit. It's actually a full Greddy kit that I bought. It's for the EP3, but I'm gonna be throwing it on the EF instead, and I am stoked. It's a little turbo, little Greddy, T517Z. This thing, it's gonna be very fast spooling. It's not gonna be anything crazy horsepower-wise, but it's gonna be very fast spooling. It's gonna be a lot of fun to drive. I'm hoping to get around 330 to 350 to the wheels in this car on pump gas. Give me one more second, I'll be right back. All right, so parts galore. Let's see what I got there. That is for the SVO, so that's not there. Right there in that box, in that comp cams box, is actually just regular RSX Types S cams with the basically a VTEC killer setup that I'm going to be doing on this engine. It's going to be locking the VTEC, and it's going to help me make 330 or 350 to the wheels with that little turbo kit. So I did not mark off any of my addresses yet, so I'm not really going to be doing too much of an unboxing, but got a fuel pressure regulator, fuel rail, bunch of parts. Just I'm not going to go into that right now. Just parts on top of parts. And then I have more parts down here. These are my tailpipes from the Mustang. I mean, I love the way they look, so I'm going to try and make blast pipes for this car out of them. But yeah, just a lot of parts, a lot of stuff to do. So let's start with this. So as you can see, ton of dust on it. It's supposed to be a Tomei in quotation marks fuel pressure regulator. Is it actually? Probably not. I got it off eBay. It was cheap, so hopefully I don't get what I paid for, and instead hopefully I get quite the bargain. But yeah, even has Tomei on this. If it is a rep, they're doing a good job. I'm trying to hide it. Let me get something to cut with here. So yeah, just a cheap little fuel pressure regulator. Gonna run this on the opposite side, so not the intake side, but the exit side of the fuel rail. Which, let me go get that actually. Yeah, this thing's pretty dusty. Comes with fittings as well, but hopefully it gets the job done. So. All right, this is a Jack Spania Racing fuel rail. I believe so. We'll see. It's been so long since I've ordered this, I can't really tell you. See, will I cut myself today or not? Yeah, Jack Spania Racing. I could probably just do that. But man, look at that. That is a nice piece of billet. Should look great in the engine bay. Again, I'm not sponsored. I bought everything with my own money. I want this build to be done right, but still on a budget. That's why I'm not going with anything crazy, like Vibrant. Like a Vibrant would be really nice, but it would bankrupt me. So that's that. Something else just to dress up the engine bay a little bit. Little valve cover oil plug. Simple billet. Clean that. Just to match basically the fuel rail. If the camera ever focuses, see, I'm gonna have to manually focus it. Alright, it's not wanting to focus. It's probably because the billet machining is kind of throwing it off, but yeah, just a simple machine part. Simple fitting. It's gonna be for the fuel pressure regulator to the fuel pressure gauge. Fuel pressure regulator to the fuel rail. What's in here? I have no clue what this is. Just more fittings, basically for the fuel rail. Put that back in here. This should just be a V-band. No, it's not a V-band. This is actually a blow-off valve. Cheap blow-off valve, knockoff, tile, teal, whatever it is. I already welded on the flange to the intercooler piping a while back. But I'm still going to have to open this up and make sure everything is machined nicely on the inside. That's kind of what you want to do with the cheap blow off valve, so I'll probably do a video on that. You just want to open it up, make sure everything is good, there's no burrs, and that it opens and closes nicely. See, this bag has my address on it, so I'm not gonna flip it over. Nope. Just a bunch of AN lines basically for the fuel. Nice and simple kit. With the fittings, with the line. Basically everything that you need. Hopefully I ordered enough. Let's see what's in here. Oh! Well, hopefully I didn't just flash you guys my address, but these are pretty cool. So, this is from a YouTuber called Hunter Tuned, and basically what he does is he makes injectors. So, and they're pretty affordable. So I got 1000 cc's injectors for this build from Hunter Tuned, and I'm really hoping that they're gonna work. They're a lot cheaper than buying like a name brand company. I don't even remember any names off the top of my head, but they're a lot cheaper than buying anything name brand. And they've been known to be pretty reputable. I know Boosted Boys, I think, ran them on the MR2, I think, don't quote me, and they got pretty good results. I also seen some other reviews, so pretty happy about these. These things are going to be sick and should perform well. So, along with the almost like machined engine bay look, it's got a cheap what are these one called? Dipstick tubes. This one though, it doesn't really look too good. Might have to machine it myself, take it to the shop, machine it, because it kind of looks more like casted than it is machined. And I want it to look more billet than that, so we'll see. Alright, I'm going to take you guys off the stand now, and let me just show you more in depth what's over here. Just a bunch of stuff. So I got oxygen sensors. Here's the intercooler piping. I got it like behind the wall, just trying to clean up some space. I got like almost a vacuum tree. Got a S2K clutch reservoir, switch plate, couplings. This is for suspension, so I'm pretty sure these are end links. I got some bushings, some brake rebuild parts, even though I'm not gonna need those. Brake pads, not gonna need those. Inner and outer tie rods. Stack it over there. Some new lug nuts. Currently the car only has 2 on each wheel. Lost most of them. Let's see, what is this? This is a flange. This is going to be a V-band flange. Should go right off of this flange. I'm going to one-handed, so forgive me here. Alright, so that flange right there. And it will go on this side of the turbo. Leave something like that. And allow me to just do a V-band exhaust. It'll be nice and easy. It's in here. Another mysterious box. I have no clue what's in. Actually, never mind. I know what's in here. Those are just wheel spacers. See, over here I have some gauges. I got some valve springs. This is basically just what came with the K20 A2 cam shafts. So it'll help with the VTEC killer setup if I do decide to go that route. I don't have the actual cage with me here. I just have parts of it. See what's in here. More brake stuff. Don't really need those. I accidentally ordered too many brake parts. I didn't realize, so I just have an abundance of it. But yeah, most of that stuff on the bottom. Land Cruiser parts up there. Mustang parts. But so yeah, this is only a fraction of the parts. Honestly, I have a bunch still in my shed and in my basement and room. So this is basically what I have at the garage. But hopefully, it's a little good introductory video back into the build. Next video, I'm probably gonna be stripping this car back down to just a shell. Engine's gonna be out of it. Suspension's gonna be off of it. Gonna do body work. Not sure. Actually, don't quote me on if I'm gonna be doing body work. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing body work before or after getting this thing running. Mainly just because body work, it's gonna get expensive for me and really time consuming. But I definitely do have to do the engine bay before I put the engine in. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, stay tuned.